Hey cactus friends, it's Jenny from Cookies Cacti. I was thinking that I've shown a lot of updates of my Copiapoa seedlings that are growing indoors, through the growing series, through just updates, but I've never really shown you every variety of Copiapoa that I am growing from seed. And I thought I would just share that with you today. So, I've mentioned in the past that when you grow from seed, one of the huge advantages is that you can grow a huge variety of different plants, often plants that you can't even find on the market, which makes it all that more special and all that more fun. So I actually went and did my homework and went through every seed catalog number that I could count from here, and I counted 36 different varieties. And when I say varieties, I'm not using that term in the strictest sense. I'm saying even if it's two species that are the same, but different catalog numbers from the Mesa Garden catalog, I count that as two different varieties, okay? So not in a very strict sense. So 36 varieties that I grew from seed, and let me show you all of them. All right, so let's start over here. Let's see, let's begin here. Okay, so let me just mention that most of the plants on this top shelf are between 12 and 20 months old. So 20 months being my oldest Copiapoa seedlings, which you've seen before in past videos. Let's start over here, and I'm just going to go through these one by one and show you all 36 different Copiapoa. So here we've got Copiapoa serpentisculata KK613. And any label that you see here with a catalog number on it is referring to the Mesa Garden seed catalog. So 85.8892 is this one. And you can go and search for these numbers on the Mesa Garden website. And many of these have pictures of the adult plant, which is really cool to see. So next is 84.2783, Copiapoa Coquimbana Coensis. Not doing the best, only got one seedling, but it's still there. Next we have 85.82, Copiapoa molecula FR525. These pots are both the same type, same thing with these 3¼ inch pots. All Copiapoa molecula. I really like how these plants are turning out. It's a species that I don't see often on the market. Same thing with this, actually, but all of them so far, really. Next we have 84.244, Copiapoa Coquimbana SSP Andina. I like how it has these light colored spines, which is a little different from the rest of the seedlings that you'll see. Here we've got 83.57, Copiapoa calderana. I have the variety listed there, but when I looked it up again today, the seed catalog, I didn't see that variety listed anymore. This is what it was when I bought it probably, over a year ago from Mesa Garden. So you all know that I'm growing a ton of the Lemkei or Lemkei seedlings, and those are all varieties of calderana. So over here I've got 85.8 Copiapoa molecula. Same species as the one that I just showed you before, but it's a different seed catalog number. Only 2 seedlings made it out of this particular pot, but those 2 seedlings are doing quite well. She's starting to stab each other. Next I have 83.68 Copiapoa cinerescens KK176. These 2 pots, actually 3 pots, are all cinerescens. I really, really love this plant. Look how beautiful it is. When they were younger, they were kind of harder to tell apart from young cinerea as well, but they are not cinerea. By the way, a lot of these KK numbers, I think, refer to Carl, is it Knies or Carl Knies? And many of you will know more information about him. I haven't looked him up, but I know that the KK numbers are his initials. In the back there, we have 85.94, which is Copiapoa humilis var tocopiana, KK1392. Only got 1 seedling out of that pack, but it's doing well. Oh wait, no, there's actually one more in the back. Sorry. Yeah, there's actually 2 in there. And then here we have 85.704 Copiapoa cranesiana. I forgot how many seeds were in this pack, but I only got 3 seedlings out of it. So far so good. I repotted them, I think maybe a month or so ago. They don't have very deep taproots, which is interesting. That's the other thing interesting about growing all these varieties from seed is that you can really examine how they grow. You know, some of these seedlings have really deep, thick taproots, and some of them don't. And some of them are kind of a mixture, which is interesting. All right, so here we've got that tray. I'm still only about 40% through. Still have a lot more to go. Well, over here we've got 85.882 Copiapoa Pendulina KK1391. This is my highest germination rate pack of Copiapoa seeds. I think I got just about 60% germination. And they're really beautiful, and they're really interesting too. They vary quite a bit amongst the different seedlings. Like this one's giant, I don't know why. And then my favorite is that some of these have really fuzzy areoles. Look at that. I love that. There's a few seedlings that have really fuzzy areoles. I'm definitely going to keep those. And in the back here we've got 85.87 Copiapoa multicolor KK1394. They kind of look similar to the Pendulina. Like if you look at them up from above, you can't tell the difference between the two, but I think that the difference might become more apparent when they get older, and probably from the flowers. They grow a little bit slower than the Pendulina, or is that true? It's really hard to tell. Also, let me see if I zoom in here, if you can see it at all. Oh, there it is. There's a 2-headed seedling in there, buried beneath its larger seedlings. I gotta get him out of there. All right, let's move to the next shelf. These really fuzzy ones are all Copiapoa humilis 85.05. I find this humilis to grow relatively quickly. They're definitely growing faster than the other species. And I know that humilis is like relatively common on the market, but I don't see humilis forms that look like this. This is interesting. Like it has this really fine fur, almost a little bit cranesiana type of look to it, if you will. I could be completely wrong, but these are pretty interesting. This one, there are 2 seedlings in there, and one of them you can see is growing very strange. What is this? Monstrose crest? I don't know. This is one of my older Copiapoa seedlings. It is 85.98 Copiapoa wagonectii KK58. Next I've got, these are always popular, 83.78 Copiapoa cinerea SSP columna alba KK611. These seeds are very pricey, and I think I had 10 or 15 seed. It was a 10 seed pack. At that time I think it was like $9 for 10 seeds, and now they're even more expensive. But I had, I think, maybe 6 of them come up, and then over time they just kept dying. And these are my last 2 survivors. Fingers crossed. I don't trust these seedlings. They are very beautiful. I don't know if the lighting is coming out on here. Alright, next is 84.277 Copiapoa tautolensis SSP desertorum. It's this one and this one. Very beautiful seedlings. The combination of the skin color, the fluffy areoles, and then that kind of golden color, tan colored spines, really beautiful. I have another pot of them here. This was I think these were my oldest of this species. These are my second oldest. I think these 2 I grew later. Very beautiful plant. Let's see, next I have Copiapoa Hesseltoniana 84.84 for the seed catalog. And I'm going to show you that they all look really different from each other, though they come from the same seed catalog. This is one of them. It was a little sick, but it has since recovered, thank goodness. But you can see like this one has light colored spines, kind of light colored skin. But this is also from that seed pack. Looks so different. Let me see, I have another one. Oh, this one. This is the one that I entered into the Central Arizona Cactus and Succulent Society show and sale. What a mouthful. But look at this. This is also the same seed catalog number. It looks completely different from the other two. And then I have another one. This one. Same seed catalog number. Growing very slow. What? Completely different from the other ones. And then one more. This one. I used to have 2 seedlings in here. This is one of my, one of my oldest seedlings of Copiapoa. You can see there's one dead seedling in there and there's one left, sadly. But at least I've got that one. But all of those 84.84 Hesseltoniana seedlings, they look so different from each other, which is very interesting. Alright, next is my favorite, as you all know if you've been watching me. 85.71 Copiapoa Calderana Lemkei KK70. So my oldest seedlings, the Lemkei, I don't know how to pronounce it. Very beautiful seedling, very beautiful plant. Of course, this is my little weirdo of that seed catalog number. See, even these vary from plant to plant, although it's the same seed pack. And then I have more. Same seed catalog number, but different seed pack. More. Oh, I love this species. It's so beautiful. Right, let's move over here. Next I have Copiapoa Coquimbana Wagonectii. This is 85.97. This is like a giant seedling of the whole pack, because this, and these two, I think they all came from the same seed pack, but you can see that their size just varies all over the place. It's really always interesting to see that. Next I have 85.8885 Copiapoa rupestris KK195. Really like this plant as well. Also a lot of variation. So these 4 plants are all from the same seed pack, but they look quite different from each other. I have another pot of them here. I have another pot of them here. Let's see, next we have 83.5 Copiapoa echinoides bridgedzii, which are these 3 pots. As you can see, they are definitely a bit overcrowded and need some repotting. It's space that I don't have. Love that plant though. You can see that they germinated pretty well. They've been, these are not the pots that they were germinated in, because you can see they're kind of, planted in arrays, so they had been replanted already or repotted. Any pot that you see where the plants are regularly planted have been repotted. Like they would be much messier if they were germinated in there. All right, next is another one that y'all know I'm growing so many of, which is 85.713 Copiapoa Calderana Lemkei or Lemkei var magnifica KK1393. This pot, and this pot. These 3 pots all came from the same seed pack, but you can see that there's definitely a variation in how the seedlings look and in their size. Love these plants. This is another one. I have one more right here. Same seed pack. Very beautiful plant. And var magnifica I find to be easier to grow than the KK70s for some reason. Next I have Copiapoa echinata var borealis KK1395 is this pot over here. I had 2 seedlings you can see on the left, but that little one died and I don't know why. Got 1 plant left. A very interesting looking plant, very beautiful. Next over here is 85.889, and this was interesting because when I bought it, it was labeled as Copiapoa tatalensis rupestris. But when I went to go look up this catalog just earlier today, it's been changed to Longisteminea. So this is now Copiapoa longisteminea. It's so beautiful. Look at that. It doesn't look anything like the adult plant. That's the interesting thing, is that at the age of these seedlings right now, I don't think they actually look like their adult form yet. They're kind of in the childhood, I wouldn't call adolescent because they're not near flowering age, but they're kind of like in this young plant phase of their life, so they don't look like the adult plants. Really interesting. All right, let's move to the next shelf. So over here we've got 85.702 Copiapoa Coquimbana var imbricata. And when I went to go look this one up, this one actually doesn't have a picture of the adult plant on Mesa Garden, so I just blindly bought the seeds, probably because they weren't expensive, and I just grew them. And now we get this nice surprise. Oh, it looks like there's a little bug on there. Nice surprise on what they turned out to look like. And I think they're really cool because look at that body. It's got those nice dark spines. And the new spines start off with that lighter color and then turn black. Oh, so beautiful. This pot's also that one. And this one's also a pot of that. Oops, this one. Some of these plants I've been moving around trying to decide. Like some of these were actually plants on the other trays that we already looked at, so they're getting all mixed together. Considering letting these go, but having a hard time doing so. Like this pot is the Copiapoa Lemkei KK70, and it's my second pot of Copiapoa seedlings. And I'm just like, do I really need another pot? Considering letting them go, but also having a hard time with it. But look at that seedling. Oh, I don't want to let you go. But should I? Some of these other ones as well. This is the Tatalensis SSP desertorum that we looked at already in the other tray. Considering letting go. We'll see. Alright, so next we've got Copiapoa Coquimbana KK1388. It's this one, these 2 3¼ inch pots in the back. This actually might be my favorite Coquimbana because look at the color. It's got like this neon light green skin color, and then it has these hard to describe spine color. They kind of end darker color, but they start off almost this orange brown color. I think this plant is so beautiful, and I'm not sure I've seen something like this on the market before, but at the same time, this could be their like childhood look, so maybe as they get older, they'll look like something else. But for right now, they're so beautiful. Look at that color. I don't remember if this plant has a picture of the adult form on the Mesa Garden website. I'll have to go look again. I have a feeling it does not. I could be wrong. All right, so these 2 pots in the back left are everybody's favorite, Copiapoa cinerea. But these did not come from Mesa Garden. These seeds came from a seller off of Instagram. I had a mishap when I sowed these. A lot of them ended up rotting and dying off, and so I have 6 of them left. Pretty sad, but at least I've got these 6. I guess these are the survivors. All right, so a lot of these are repeats of plants we've already seen or varieties we've already seen before. Bar Magnifica. Oh, these we'll look at more in a bit. Bridgetzi, Coquimbana, 1388. Not a very successful pot, but they're still alive. Calderana. These are not Copiapoa. All right, so next we've got Copiapoa Grandiflora, 84.81, which are all of these. I think these are really beautiful plants. And Grandiflora is not that difficult to find the plants on the market, and they're relatively reasonably priced as well. But there's nothing like growing them from seed yourself, and you can see that, let's see, oh, there's one more pot over here. Oh, and there's one pot over here. I find them to grow on the faster side for Copiapoa. These had been repotted, and obviously they're kind of out of space. But when you look at these, look how different they look from each other. Like I have so many of them, and I know I cannot keep all of these, or it doesn't make sense, but when I try to pick the ones I want to keep, I end up wanting to just keep them all, because they all look so different. And that's not going to work. And these are repeats, so this is more of the pendulina that I have removed from the tray. Okay, so I've got one pot here that is less than a year old. These are the like 7, approaching 8 months old seedlings that we've been tracking. This is 84.9. Copiapoa Horrid Spina KK1713. They don't look anything like the adult plant that is on the Mesa Garden website. I moved them up here because they were kind of rotting out. So I put them up here where they can get more airflow, I guess. Maybe have a chance to dry out faster. All right, now let's move to the bottom shelf. So all these back here are 84.1 Copiapoa Coquimbana. And these had been growing in that 1020 tray that I've been slowly repotting. And you can see I have a lot of them. Yeah. They're very cool plants, and plus these also don't look anything like their adult form either. I think there's a picture on the Mesa Garden website, so it's really interesting. I have more of them here. This one was also a pretty high germinating rate pack of seeds. This 84.1. I think I got about 50%, a little bit over 50% germination. The rest of these are all the pendulina. More pendulina. Look how fuzzy those aerials are. I love it. Alright, so back here we've got Copiapoa tatalensis olivana L816. And the seed catalog is 85.873. These were also pretty on the higher side of germination, and they grow relatively quickly as well. Maybe not the fastest, but they're not that slow compared to the Calderanas. These are also another one that I'm like, well, I can't keep all of these, but which ones do I pick to keep? They're all so unique and different from each other, like this one. I don't think the color is coming out, but this one's like a nice solid green, some really cool spines. This one's a little bit more purple. This one's really interesting, has got a lot of those tubercles on them. This one's a different color. Like that one has lighter color spines. I mean, how do you pick the ones to keep? My plan is to keep enough to get them to flowering age, and then I can use them to create more seed. And then the rest of them really have to go. I mean, like this Coquimbana, do I need 50 of these? Probably not. Okay, we're making our way to the end, to the last bits. All right, so now we're back to our seedling trays, which we've been following in my How to Grow Cactus from Seed series, so many of you are probably familiar with these trays, but they have more of the seed catalogs. So here we've got 84.86 Copiapoa Hesseltoniana. It's actually FK33-77 when I looked this up on the Mesa Garden catalog again. Not a very successful pot, but we've got a couple of seedlings left. They're growing really slow. Here we've got 84.2765 Copiapoa Taltalensis desertorum. So these are about 5.5 months old or so, heading towards 6 months. I'll do another update video later this month when they do turn 6 months old. Here we've got 85.8832 Copiapoa Coquimbana Pepiniana var Fedulariana KK172. And these are a bunch of repeats of the Lemkei or Lemkei KK. Oh, these are var magnifica. Sorry. This is 85.92 Copiapoa Longisteminea tigriensis KK1385. Still, I think, I'll say 3 seedlings left, growing very, very slow. All right, we're down to our last 2 varieties. This is Copiapoa Megariza var echinata, catalog 85.7182. This pot. And then these are repeats that we've already looked at before. My favorite Coquimbana. You see, they also have that characteristic of that light green neon skin color and then those really cool orange, brown, red spines. Well, let's see what happens as they get older. Okay, we're at our last seed catalog. My arm is getting really tired. 85.716 Copiapoa marginata KK90. So, we just went through 36 different species, varieties, Mesa Garden seed catalog numbers. And then the rest of these are all repeats. Var magnifica, that I love so much. And this entire tray, which we've been following as well. They're now probably, what, over 7 months old, heading towards 8 months. They're all the Calderana Lemkei. Either Var Magnifica or those KK70s. I need to repot these. I hope you enjoyed seeing my entire Copiapoa seedling collection. All plants that I've grown from seed. And this is the reason why growing from seed is so much fun, because you get to access some plants that you would almost never find on the market. And when you buy Mesa Garden seeds, they have a lot of information to them. Most of them, if not almost all of them, at least for Copiapoa, I don't know about other plants, but they have locality information in there too. So you can kind of get a sense of where they came from, which is really cool. And, if we all grow these seeds, get them to flowering age, let them produce seeds themselves as well, we're kind of preserving and letting these plants continue to go. We know even if it's in cultivation, so be it. But it's really fun to keep these going and to see some of these. So what I did was, everybody wants certain species, but those species are really expensive and they sell out very quickly, even on the Mesa Garden website. So what I did one time, I think this was already about 1.5 years ago. Now, what do you do on a Friday night? Go on Mesa Garden website while you're watching TV or YouTube, and you go through their seed catalog and you look at the Copiapoa that are left, and you buy up all the ones that are available in a 100 seed pack for relatively inexpensive, and that's what I did. So many of these, if not the majority of them, came from that buying spree of just like, okay, fine, I'll just buy whatever people don't want that come in large numbers of seeds, and let's see what happens. And so many of those were sown in January of last year, of 2022. And this is the result of doing that. So, all right, everybody, I hope you enjoyed this full 36 variety, seed catalog number, species, full overview of all the Copiapoa seedlings that I have growing inside the house. I hope you all are doing well in the spring season. Hopefully all your plants are waking up and flowering and doing fun things, and that you all are enjoying your gardens and growing. And as I always say, if you have any desire to want to grow some plants from seed, don't hesitate. Don't think, just grow. It's crazy the sense of time that occurs when you grow plants from seed, because it's actually a little bit horrifying, because you'll feel time passing. Anyway, take care, y'all. Talk to y'all later. Bye. So Cookie is back from the hospital following her radioiodine therapy. She's been back since Wednesday, and it's been very nice having her back in the house. It feels really weird without her. Now it's a matter of watching how she does. And if you watched my previous video, I mentioned that she has existing kidney disease already. And hyperthyroidism and kidney disease are on the opposite end of the balance. It tends to be that if you resolve hyperthyroidism, the kidneys get worse. So I'm very anxious about that. You can see she looks kind of tired. I guess we'll just take it day by day.